and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with NewFilmmakers magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Camera Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood, and I'm here producer Alexandru Celea with the movie New School Records. Let's take a look at a clip.
Because after school, me and my friends would head to our new home. Wow. And New School Records was born. And since we launched last year, we've recorded 2 albums, 5 videos that have millions of views and turned Mitchell into a web sensation.
But at the end of the day, we're just some regular teens who get to do what we love. Make music.
Alexandru, it's an honor to have you here in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome, and thank you so much for sharing your film. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
Well, it's music-inspired comedy about these kids who start a record label while in high school. And it was actually inspired by a true story. These kids on the west side of LA who actually did this. They were in the middle of high school and they had the means to basically put together a record label and were quite successful at it. And I had heard about them and decided, I spoke to my partner, John Swetnam, who's a screenwriter and producer and director. And when he saw it, he instantly saw the potential for this to turn into a really cool little project. And then we shared it with Disney, and they thought, let's give it a shot. Let's try making a little short out of it, see what the fans think, and the response has been great so far.
It really was amazing. It was so wonderful to have the cast there last night as well. The talented cast who really have, phenomenal futures. They say they're like triple threats as well. I think part of the thing that made, when I watched your movie, that kind of made me feel like the essence of Disney is just that Disney's so clean. Like every shot and every park is like you could eat your dinner off the floor and it's like a safe thing to do. You know what I mean? It's got that such pinpoint clean. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how to quite describe it, but was that something that you obviously had to consider in kind of making something, particularly something that's aimed at young people as well?
Right. I mean, when we brought Matt Pisano on board, who comes from like the commercial world, and he's done a fantastic documentary short that was in Tribeca, and this was like a new narrative project for him. He has a very stylized documentary feel to most of his work, so we wanted it to feel grounded but still aspirational, where everything feels like when an audience member watches it, it's like, oh, I want to go there, or I want to be friends with these kids. So it's trying to straddle that line of realism but also a cool factor.
Totally cool. I was like,
So that was a very conscious choice of trying to balance those sorts of things. But even from like a diversity standpoint of our cast and our leads, we wanted to make it feel a little fresh and something that you don't necessarily see on Disney Channel right now, but that could be there. And
I love that.
Yeah, giving giving everyone a character that they can kind of root for.
Yeah. Well, that's one great thing about what Claire, McCabe is all about at Disney Channel, which is wondrous. What's it like? You created this project, and it gets picked up, just in support by the Disney Channel, and then Screen with us with New Filmmakers LA and Screen last night. What's that feeling like to see your film up there on the big screen with a great audience?
It was great. Obviously, Claire was a big supporter. So was Gary King over at Disney, and they gave us a shot at putting this thing together. And obviously, when you see it on your computers or in the edit bay, it's
place,
one thing.
Right?
And seeing it on the big screen with a real audience is obviously always very humbling, and it's a great feeling to be surrounded by people that kind of that can appreciate the work, and also seeing other filmmakers awesome projects. So it was great to be a part of this whole experience.
So you're a native of one of my most favorite places I've ever visited. In fact, my first place I visited when I was a kid, Romania.
Yes.
And you're over here as a producer making films, and it's just a great journey. And growing up in New York City, all that experience that you've had in your world, in your life, I'm sure that's inherited a lot of great experience for you as a producer. So in respect to that, what was that? How has that helped you, and what is happening next for you?
So I mean, I feel very fortunate that I've kind of been in a lot of places, you know, being an immigrant, growing up in New York City, being here, coming up through the international sales route to getting to my producing role currently. I always kind of try to keep in mind what the global perspective on things will be and how things can live outside of, you know, the sort of bubbles that we all kind of inhabit. So with most projects, I try to do that. Obviously, with something like New School Records, the target was, you know, kind of like the edge of what Disney is, and I think we hit that target. But I always try to think about, like, how will this be perceived with any sort of project that we take on, whether so plenty of other projects cooking over at Mad Horse Films with John Swetnam. He has a MTV show that he recently sold. We have a few projects that are going to be going into production in 2017. None in this sort of space, but, you know, hopefully something bigger and better happens with New School Records.
Well, you guys are great over you know, your production company did really fantastic work and jobs, and we certainly look forward to seeing much more of your work as well.
Thank you.
So you know, thank you for this, and we look forward and we want more.
Thank you
That's all
so
I can
much.
say. All right, thank you.
All right.
Congratulations. Thanks
you.
a lot.